What was your first impressions upon arriving to a new country, especially the UK? What was your first impressions?
Honestly, I think that was like one of the best time in my life. It was like a dream come true.
And they never told you anything about sort of working conditions, law, anything regards to your rights as a worker here, anything like that?
Honestly, no.
So you had no information
I was
about
totally
your
blank.
rights.
I was totally blank.
The care company specifically where you were, outside of London, what was that like? What was the environment and conditions like when you was working there?
Honestly, I was too disappointed. It's not what I expected. There were no clients. There was no work.
They give you any training? What did they do to...
There was no training.
None whatsoever.
There was no training because the client expect much from us carers. It reached a point whereby they could ask back, have you done this job before? Because they felt we didn't have the skills and the ability to do the care.
Which is true. You didn't have the training, you didn't have the skills. So you didn't shadow anyone to teach you how to do anything. They literally took you fresh.
Yeah.
And just threw you into a job which you had no skills for.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your situation here.
Yeah.
What's a typical day here?
Here it's so busy. So I start my work at 7 and end at 9 or sometimes even 10. So that means like I'm in the field all day.
So we're talking about 7 a.m. in the morning until 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And how many days are we talking here?
We're talking 6 days.
6 days.
Yeah.
So with regards to your days off, can you choose your day off?
No.
And is there any particular reason why you can't choose your day off?
There's no reason. They just choose it for you. It's up to the employer. They tell you on this day you'll be off and you have no say.
And how do you feel about that?
Bad. No freedom of speech.
How did it work out for you then with regards to finances?
When it comes to the finances, honestly, it's horrible because when it comes to the cost, certificate of sponsorship, we are charged for that. 8,000, 5,000, 10,000, others even pay 15,000. So everyone pays something to work.
So the employers basically have put you into debt bondage, basically.
Yes.
So how does it paying them back work? So do they take the money directly or do they pay you and then you have to pay them? How does the paying back of the...
So they pay you.
Finances.
They pay you and you pay them. You take the money to them.
So do they have a set amount that you need to pay every single month?
It depends on what you've agreed on.
Right. So they monitor your shifts to see how much work you get, and then they calculate how much you pay back. Is that how it works?
No, it depends on the agreement you made on the first date.
Right.
Regardless, let me give you an example. If you agree to give your employer maybe 500 per month, that's what you'll pay, regardless of the money you'll get by the end of the month.
From the other carers that you've spoken to, what kind of work would they do in order to survive? Because cash in hand jobs are not always easy to find.
Yeah.
So what else would they be willing to do to earn that kind of money just to pay back the debt bondage?
Yeah, so sorry to say this, but for the girls, they don't do it willingly or you're forced to do prostitution.
Okay.
So you do the online dating or you go to a club, get these rich guys, or you go to the casinos, get these rich guys. They give you something and that's how you survive.
Do they give them sex?
Yeah, that's why I said it's prostitution.
Yeah. So sex in return for money, which then they can use to pay back the debt bondage.
They pay back their date
and help obviously survive to live as well.
Yeah, survive.
What kind of support did you receive from the employer? So when you've come here, Did your employer actually explain your legal rights, your contract, things like that? Did they give you any sort of information with regards to the way you work here in the UK with regards to the law? Did they give you any?
We're just given a work contract
Okay.
and we just signed the trainings.
Did you understand what was in that contract?
Not really.
And did they explain to you what was in that contract?
Not really.
How did the debt bondage come about? How did it work?
So this is how it works. Immediately they get for you like an employer. If someone, let's assume you're my employer, if you're going to give me the job, yeah, they will tell you, okay, I'm going to give you the job, but I'm going to give you a certificate of sponsorship. And for that certificate of sponsorship, you will give me this amount of money. So you make the agreement before anything else, before signing the contract. So it's like they prioritize that.
So they've already put in their minds that they're going to get you into debt before you actually start your role. Because if you wanted to leave, for instance, what would happen if you wanted to go to another care company?
I think they work hand in hand. They know what they're doing. They know 100%. Because when I leave this care company that I'm in, when I go to the next, I'm going to face the same thing. So there is no way a worker is going to leave the company because they know they'll face the same thing in the next.
So give me an example. So for instance, if you or one of your colleagues wanted to leave, give us a rough guide price of how much that would cost them.
It's between 5,000 to 10,000.
Just to leave?
Yes.
And they expect you to pay that back with the wages that you earn from the work that they give you.
If you're not able to pay the whole amount at once, you make an agreement every month to give some amount of money.
So what happens if you can't pay?
Then you're not given the certificate of sponsorship. Or if you're not able to pay, they revoke your visa, they cut it off and you look for elsewhere.
So do they say anything to you about money, like paying on time, or if you've not been able to pay, what kind of language would they use with you?
Of course, if you're not, they then threaten. It's a must. If you agree to pay a certain amount at the end of the month, you have no option. You have to pay it.